Hello everyone, it's me here again, Richard. Doing another simple mobile phone video because they're quick and easy and they seem to work. So I've been inspired again to do another one, this time about UBI, Universal Basic Income. I have my own modest website on this. There's a link below in the description, along with an article I read recently by Scott Santens, who sees to be an expert on the subject. He's been cited by senior American senators and so forth, and he's got a lot of articles, a lot of writing. He's done a lot of work. So I read that article because we're trying to find out about the funding of it all, because that's the big mystery in it. How do you pay for all this? How do you expect it to work? I'll get to that in a minute. And there's a third link. I can't find it. What was it? I don't know. Oh yes, I saw another video about the whole idea. Scott Santens. The article by Scott Santens. Sorry, I'll skip it again. But the article by Scott Santens actually referred to modern monetary theory, which I'd heard of before, but I didn't know much about. His article was a bit terse. It was clear, correct, I think, but I didn't really get it. So I decided to investigate a bit further. I went to YouTube and looked for a video on monetary theory and found one. It seemed pretty good, so I'll put that in the description below. Basically the idea is that, like many people, I thought you had to pay taxes in order to get services. Which is why when the Tories cut taxes, you cut services. But these theories are saying no, well, it's not quite correct. What they're saying is if you can print money, if you've got a fiat currency, it's an important distinction, if you've got a fiat currency, that's one that's not tied to any kind of gold standard or any kind of physical commodity at all. It's just a thing that the government declares as being the currency. It could be anything. Because if it's a new one, today a lot of people probably said it. And the point that I didn't get before, is that if you are obliged to pay taxes in a certain currency, then obviously you want to earn that currency. So everything has to be paid in that currency, therefore there's a legal obligation to have that currency in place. That's what a fiat currency means. Despite it being not tangible in any sense, because there's a legal requirement to have it, to pay taxes, it's in effect tied, it's kind of a commodity in itself almost. It's very, very real because it's a legal entity. So in that sense it's quite similar in characteristics to things like gold. And apparently when money was first invented, I think notes for promissory notes, I'll pay the bearer on demand the amount of £1 of gold or silver or whatever it was. That's how you got these notes. And how the name pound came to be, pound sterling. And sterling, I think, is the like sterling silver. Not quite what it means, something to do with the country. And what was I going with this? You got this gold, and then of course we also used to have coins made of silver. Roman coins were made of silver, for example, and they got diluted over the years, and the corners cut and shaved and things, so that people could melt the silver down and make new coins. So this coin used to be tangible, it used to be real. Excuse me. And that's all gone now. This currency is just a fiction. I think it's a legal fiction. I think that's the correct phrase. It's just a social invention. There's a whole society. These social inventions worth looking at. But money is a prime example. It's just a convenient fiction that we all adopt, and the government says, well, it's the law, you've got to pay taxes in sterling, so therefore you have to earn sterling, therefore that's the currency. That's what the theory says, which makes sense, but it's new to me. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on. The point about UBI is, if you don't know much about it, it's Universal Basic Income. The idea is you pay everyone, regardless of their status, if you're wealthy, poor, ill, or sound, or employed or not, doesn't matter which. You just give it everyone from the government. Say in this country you don't give them £1,000 per month, let's say, which could be enough, depending on where you live. It could be enough to pay your rent and your food and your basic clothing, whatever. Thousands is perhaps a bit low, but let's take it as an easy figure to work with. And let's say you got a population of 10 million people. You pay £1,000 per month. That's £10 billion per month. That's a lot of money. And the obvious concern is, well, if you flood the country with that amount of money per month, then the prices just shoot up, inflation just go through the roof. That's like 70% or something. So, but the modern monetary theorists point out that that's only true if there is no spare capacity in the economy. If there's a slack economy, as we have now, there's room for expansion. There's plenty of work to be done. God knows it. And you just pump the money into to pay for schools and hospitals and education and whatever, then there won't be inflation, because what you have instead is actually production, construction and more services and an expansion in the actual economic activity. But you won't get inflation until there's actually no more room for increased production. So if a factory reaches space limits, for example, and the managers can't buy another factory straight away, or another car parking space or whatever, got physical limits they reach. If they do that, and then the government pumps money into the economy, then you get inflation. Which makes sense. I think I can't see anything wrong with that. And the point of taxation in that case is to simply take money out of the economy. So it's a way of controlling inflation. So if, say, you have a £1,000 month income as an individual and as an adult, I think over, not sure what age, there's be some limit, I don't know, say 18, say. Then you'll spend it on housing and rental, mortgage, car, food, whatever, dentist, whatever. Even the NHS dentist cost money. Can't get them anymore, but they still do. When you can, they still cost money. It's modest amount, but you still pay for it. And car insurance and all those kind of things, TV license, whatever. So all that money gets circulated through the economy, and so if your tax rate increases, obviously you can't spend so much. Therefore, the money supply decreases, and inflation, if any, then it gets reduced. Which again makes sense. If you control the tax rate, then you control the inflation by doing it that way. So rather than changing interest rates, as the Bank of England was, the Treasury could actually change tax rates to go on inflation. That's the idea, I think. And this theory is obviously quite hard to grasp. There's a good video in the link below, in the description box. I find it useful. So yeah, back to UBI. What would you do if you live in London? Say it's a very expensive place, you can't afford to live on £1,000 per month, but it will be very useful, I'm sure. You wouldn't be obliged to get shit jobs or desperately low wage just to survive, or 3 or 4 of them just to survive. You might still have 1, possibly, but not 4. So your life will be less stressful. You can be sure you can get a kind of safety blanket no matter what happens. You can then take your time looking for different jobs, or deciding what you want to do. You might want to become a sculptor, for example, or paint something, or make music. And that's important because, you know, this art, this music is the life and soul of every country, every society, every culture. It goes back a long way. It's part of human nature. So you can't ignore it, but the government tries to squash it. Wonder why. Or you can learn how to cook for, or start a business. Of course, you can't. If you fail, you don't lose your whole life savings or whatever, because you've still got this UBI blanket, or safety blanket, as it were. Probably the wrong term, but threshold floor. Basic income, no matter what you do. So you can start a business and take it a lot more sagely. You can actually take time again to do a proper business plan, do your research, work out what the likely costs are going to be and the likely pitfalls, and you needn't rush so much. It's like having a pension. You just do what you want, really, to some extent. So yeah, in that context, UBI does become affordable. It's a remarkable conclusion, but it seems to be true. And the Tories in particular have this opposite idea that, as one of the videos says, you can't have a magic money tree, but it seems you can. And so, because they want to cut taxes, to say, well, we cut taxes, therefore business can expand because they don't have more money to, do things with, which is partly true, but it's not a real sound argument. Because, if you get more money in your less taxation doesn't mean you'll invest more, really. Might just save the money in for your pension pot, or just buy more takeaways, doesn't really get invested. So, it could do, but may not do. So their premise is the way you've got to cut taxes, therefore, you have to balance the books, therefore you've got to cut services. Because there's less money coming in, less revenues, therefore we have to cut services to balance the books. Because we can't keep spending money we haven't got. So that's the whole ethos. They know this goes on. They advocate the one-sided party. Oh, cut your taxes, and all of us are, yay, great, yes, fewer taxes, wonderful, great, thank you. But then the other side of the coin is, you'll get fewer services, by the way. Fewer dentists, and fewer libraries, and fewer hospitals, and fewer staff, and fewer teachers, and fewer schools, fewer buses, fewer trains, fewer services all round, and worse services as well. If you don't invest in them, that's what you'll get. Nothing, or less, or worse. Excuse me, phone call decline. Yeah, so UBI does seem affordable. I still can't believe it myself, but in theory, I think it might be correct. So if the government were to say issue £1,000 per month for every adult in the country, it's a huge amount of money. It's a massive amount of influence to the economy, just enormous. But people could then be more productive. They could decide to insulate their buildings, for example, and save in the long term and save energy. Or they might decide to start a business, or do some artwork, or anything at all, or just have time to care for people that they might need to care for, elderly relatives, for example. So social care becomes less of an issue. Still an issue, but less of one. And I don't think UBI replaces pensions or social care, but it's the basic income, it's the floor income, which everybody can rely on, no matter what. And I suppose the prisoners might be excluded, I think, but that may be debatable. So, yeah. That's the idea. And the modern monetary theory is what underpins it all. That's what makes UBI possible, even thinkable. That you just print the money. You actually, when you don't print it, you got a computer to somewhere in the Bank of England, the Treasury, and you add some zeros to an account, and so you got 100 times more money you had before. That's it. That's all it takes. And then the Bank of England, whatever, then is able to give more loans at lower rates to the banking sector, and then the individual banks then give more loans at lower rates to businesses to start business, or to people who just need it for other reasons. The loans become more affordable, and that's how you boost the economy. And if you take it directly to people rather than via the banks, then you boost the economy in a much more direct way, much better way. Because the old way, as I just mentioned, is old-fashioned. That's conventional thinking. The unconventional thinking, the MMT way, is, in this case, in UBI, give the money directly to people, so they then have more time with which to plan their lives and work things out and invest in, tools or whatever, or art, paintbrushes, whatever they need to do, or cameras, whatever they require, to actually build their lives and make the whole country happier and healthier and a much better place to live in than it is now. Tories, please take note. So I think I'll end that bit. I think that's all pretty much. I'll probably add this video to my ubi.help site, and I hope you'll pass the word on and spread it around via Twitter or whatever, and press the like button if you like it, and maybe notifications if you want to be notified of new videos. And I don't know, get drunk. Bye.